morning and welcome, children. I hope you're fit and fine. You're taking care of yourself, staying at home, and obeying your parents. Once again, I'm here to teach you English language. I'm going to teach you idioms today. It's a continuation of last week's video, and I hope you have learned what idioms are. I taught you that idioms are short sayings in conversational English which carry a figurative meaning. This means that its actual meaning is different from its literal meaning. An idiom has to be understood by looking beyond the words that compose it. So once again, I'm going to teach you a few idioms today. As I teach you, children, please pay attention on the screen. Here we have the first idiom, children, that is couch potato, which means a lazy or inactive person. Just look at the first sentence as I read it out for you, children. Varun has become fat as he is a couch potato. Why has he become fat? Because he is a lazy and inactive person. Children, when you are lazy and inactive, you become fat, isn't it? So, Varun has become fat as he is a couch potato. Now the second sentence. My mom always says me that don't be a couch potato, go outside and play. This means that my mother always tells me not to be lazy or inactive. Now the third sentence, children. My uncle has become a couch potato since he lost his job. Because he has lost his job, he's sitting at home, not working, and he's become lazy and inactive. Now the fourth sentence, you should be more active and less of a couch potato. It's a advice given to you. So you should be more active and less of a couch potato. You should not be lazy and inactive. Now the second idiom, children, that is butterflies in the stomach. The meaning of this idiom is to feel anxious or nervous. What is the meaning of anxious? When you are uneasy about something with an uncertain outcome. You are very anxious. You don't know what is going to happen and you are feeling very uneasy. That means anxious. Now look at the first sentence as I read, children. He had butterflies in his stomach while waiting for the results of his exam. When your results are supposed to be out, even you are very nervous. So he had butterflies in his stomach while waiting for the results of his exam. Now the second sentence is, your children. Tomorrow is my first day at school. I have butterflies in my stomach, which means I am very nervous because it's my first day at school. Now the third sentence. I get butterflies in my stomach every time I have to go up on the stage. It's a very common feeling which we all have. When we have to go on the stage, we all are nervous. So, I get butterflies in my stomach every time I have to go up on the stage. Now, the last sentence of this idiom. I got butterflies in my stomach before the interview. Which means I was very nervous before the interview. Now we have the third idiom, children, that is 40 winks, which means to take a short nap, to sleep for a short time. The first sentence, there is just enough time for 40 winks before our flight. So there is enough time to take a short nap before our flight. Now the second sentence, Mohan always liked to catch 40 winks after the lunch. He always liked to have a short nap after the lunch. The third sentence, when the pilot was catching 40 wings, the plane was about to be crashed. That means when the pilot was having a short nap, the plane was about to be crashed because it's very risky when the pilot goes for a short nap. The fourth sentence, John generally has 40 wings going home on a bus. When he's going home on a bus, he has a short nap. And the last sentence for this idiom, that is, I need 40 wings and I'll be able to work all night. If I have a short nap, I'll be fresh and I'll be able to work all night. Now the fourth idiom, children, that is bed of roses, which means pleasant situation and easy, comfortable life. Look at the first sentence as I read it out for you. A farmer's life is no bed of roses, which means a farmer's life is not a very easy and comfortable life. He has to work very hard. The second sentence, the life of the royal family is a bed of roses in United Kingdom, which means the life of the royal family is a very comfortable life in United Kingdom. Now the third sentence, she found that taking care of old parents was not a bed of roses, which means she found that taking care of old parents was not a very easy task. It was a tough task. Now the fourth sentence, life isn't always a bed of roses, which means life is not always easy and comfortable. It can be hard and tough at times. Now the next one, that is the fifth idiom, children, that is rock the boat, which means to do or say something that will cause problems. Look at the first sentence as I read it out for you. Politicians don't like to rock the boat around election time, which means they do not want to do or say something which might make the election. The second sentence, there is no need to rock the boat. The situation is already too messy. There is no need to say or do something and cause problems because the situation is already too messy. And now the last sentence, as long as you don't rock the boat, nobody cares what you do. As long as you don't do or say something that causes problems for others, nobody cares what you do. Now the last idiom, that is the sixth one, to be in hot water, which means to get into trouble. Please look at the sentences as I read it out for you, children. The first one, Harry will be in hot water if he continues to be late for office, which means Harry will be in trouble if he continues to be late for office. Now the second sentence, a person who breaks a law can be in hot water with the police. He can be in trouble with the police if he breaks a law. Now the third sentence, the company has already been in hot water due to the lockdown because it is already in trouble due to the lockdown. Now the last sentence for this idiom is, she was in hot water when she was unable to clear the loan of the bank, which means she was in great trouble because she was unable to clear the loan of the bank. I hope, children, you have understood the meaning of these idioms which I have explained to you just now, and you have gone through the sentences also which I read it for you, and you have understood how to use these idioms in sentences. So children, I want you to do one thing. I want you to write the meanings along with the idioms which I taught you, and all the sentences which I have shown you and read it out for you in your rough notebook. And I want you to do one thing, children. Apart from these sentences which I have shown you on the screen, I want you to write one sentence of your own with these idioms. Okay, children, I hope it's clear. And you try to use these idioms when you're writing paragraphs, when you're writing essays, so that you are able to improve your English. Isn't it? That's all for today, children. Thank you and have a nice time.